motivation to get more filmmaking done, film work done, I set up those weekly videos to share my progress. The problem is, this week, just over a month in, I found myself not doing any progress at all on any of the projects that I'm supposed to be working. And I knew why, and I knew that it's good for me, but still I felt like a fraud for not pushing for myself more, for not being more disciplined. We live in a culture dominated by hustle and laziness, and while they are opposite, they both are stressful in their own way, and play is usually seen as waste of time, while it's both productive. There's many studies on children learning best through play, for example, and it's restful. So this week I played. Not video games, I did a little bit of that, but play for me in this context is defined differently, so I would just talk through what I did. Last weekend there's been a book giveaway, and I grabbed 9 ebooks and read 3 of them this week. And I may have ranted to my writers about what did the books do wrong and about some things that they did right. It would be very rude of me to rant like that on my fellow indie writers publicly, but in our private group it's very fun, if not a little bit guilty pleasure. And it does occasionally lead to good writing or storytelling insights, so I feel excused. But yeah, that's not exactly work, play, just reading. I do find that I function as a human being best if I read at least 1 book per week. So I'm trying to do that. 3 was a little bit overkill, took a lot of my time. Then I decided to plan out what order I will need to buy paperbacks of 2 intertwining series that I really want to adapt into a TV series someday, in a few years someday, because it will cost millions and I don't even have the rights yet. Theoretically, working on it right now is a waste of time, but it's so much fun. And then I started writing fanfiction. Fanfiction that I'm not sure if I will even be publishing anywhere, really, because I don't really like where the original novel is going, like series of novels. But I got to write a couple of pages of awesome banter, and most of all, I got to write. And then I started working on an original novel, which took bits and pieces of about 10 books I've been disappointed in, but had cool tropes and situation and so on. So I guess the ranting on the books did turn out to be somehow productive. But writing that novel, like beginning of the novel, I got 2 chapters. I'm starting on the 2nd chapter now. It's still not serious work because I'm not lacking in book ideas. I have about 30 started works in progress, so I did not need another one. One day I will finish them, or at least most of them.
But it is not this day.
Why am I okay, or even happy with, using a week on playing with filmmaking and writing, rather than doing something substantial that would actually give me some outcome, like even a short film outcome? Because last week I was scrambling to finish the indie film Ungated episode, and the most devastating for me was that I couldn't film B-roll. I was really looking forward to that, and I had it planned. I don't like changing plans. I have to, of course, and every filmmaker has to, and every mother has to change plans. But from that change of plans and disappointment that I couldn't get that right, it went downhill. I started to be more critical than usual about my speech, that I didn't look into the camera enough, that the lighting in the last part didn't match. I think it is a good video for my current skills at least, and it is the absolute best video I could have made within the circumstances of the last week. But it wasn't what I was hoping for. or what I expected of myself. And I take disappointments very emotionally. Maybe in time I will be able to learn to take it easier, maybe not. Either way, for now, all I can do is figure out how to cope when it happens. And so far, working on ridiculous projects with no expectations and only on those parts that I feel like working right now, was the best way to do so. If I would try instead to push myself through the disappointment by working on my most urgent project, I wouldn't be able to do my best work, which would lead me to more disappointment and most likely to having to redo my work. Talk about waste of time. And with Play, only after 1 week, I'm starting to get excited again about working on the Sneeze Wizard, which is my most urgent project. With writing, I will probably stay with that latest novel until at least I will write down all the scenes I already thought through. So I guess it didn't work quite so well for the most urgent project in writing, but I know I will come around to work on the Cozy Shop short anyway, because it's personally important for me to be part of this anthology, so that's motivation enough to finish it this year. And I guess we'll see next week if that excitement for the Sneeze Wizard will actually do some work on this project, or I will go down another wild goose chase. Thank you for watching and see you then. Oh, and before I forget, if you would let me know if you let yourself ever play and what's been your experience with that and what do you do for playing. Looking forward to talking to you about that.